Questions are wonderful. Aren't questions great? How's a question? I love questions. I love that my students feel like they can ask them and that they won't receive any negative response or judgment from me. I love and value questions because it means that they are engaged in the process of learning and they want to know more. So whatever question my student asks, I almost always respond with, "Good question. I'm so glad you asked." I value the desire to learn something, and I value the fact that they allowed themselves to be vulnerable to the point where they could even stop me mid-sentence if they needed to, if they really needed to understand that. Isn't that a wonderful skill? That if you don't understand something, if they can take that into the workforce when they are trying a new job, attempting a new task or in a new situation, instead of just hoping that they understand it and then possibly making a mistake or an error, isn't it wonderful that they can feel confident enough to raise their hand, say, "You know what, I just want to make sure I understand this. Is this what I am to understand? Is this how this works?" Wouldn't you value that as an employee? So as an employer, so as a teacher, I also value questions and I love them, and my students know that. So I would encourage you to also encourage questions. And when they do ask one, it really helps if you'll say, "Good question. That was such a good question. I'm so glad you asked. Let's figure that out until you understand it a little better." And then even if they just learned that one thing, that's a plus and a positive for the day. And they learned it because they asked.